Prosper Sports. Under the lights. Live in the action. Coming to you every Friday. This is Game Time with your host, Maggie Hale.
Welcome back to another episode of Game Time. I'm Maggie Hale, here to bring you the stats and information you need to know before the game. After a Thursday night game against McKinney and a bye week, the Eagles are finally back in action here at Children's Health Stadium for homecoming night. Our 4-1 Prosper boys will be taking on the 4-4 Braswell Bengals. When we talked pregame before Geyer 2 weeks ago, we knew there would be two primary requirements for Prosper to pull out a win: nail down the run game and put up a strong defense. Despite losing the Geyer game with a 2-yard touchdown run in the last 2 seconds, the Eagles really did put up an excellent fight, and I'm excited to see how that carries over tonight with the other Denton school. The Geyer game was a turning point for the Eagles this season, and it's because of offensive addition Jacob DeVinny. The junior joined the team mid-season and made an immediate impact in the past 2 games. He's had 24 carries for 100 yards and even putting up a touchdown against Geyer. DeVinny is nearing this 100-yard feat in only 2 games, and it's extremely promising for the rest of the season, especially as the team heads into playoffs. While Prosper has figured out how to run their offense, Braswell knows how to score points as well. Unfortunately for the Eagles tonight, they will take on a fired-up Denton Braswell as they come off a 49-7 loss against Denton Geyer. With that in mind, running back Jamarian Sanford is going to need to be locked down before he can make it out of the pocket. Sanford is great at finding the holes in the line, so the pressure on his run game starts with the defensive line tonight. On the season, Sanford has 567 yards with 5 touchdowns. These are impressive numbers and should tell our boys that this isn't a team you want to go soft on the coverage for. The defense is going to need to stop the run game early and be consistent with all 4 quarters. Before we get into more about the defense, it's time for tonight's trivia question. In the past 3 years, how many Prosper football players have been selected for the Under Armour All-American game? Is it A, 1, B, 2, C, 4, or D, none? The correct answer is B, 2. In 2019, former Prosper kicker and current LSU kicker Cade York played in the game, and last year Jake Majors, who now plays for Texas, followed in his footsteps. While the Eagles came out victorious against McKinney last week in a 27-17 win, they lost a key part of the defense to an injury. Aiden Ciano has been a game changer all season, but unfortunately will not make an appearance on the field tonight. This leaves the defense in a position to fill that missing link. While Ciano will be missed in the game plan tonight, I trust that players like Mason Jolly and Herman Lee will be able to step up and execute tonight on defensive pressure. Taking a look at Mason Jolly first, the senior has a total of 36 tackles on the season, with 27 of those being solo. Jolly proved that he could execute a clean game against a powerful offense with his stats from Denton Geyer. He accumulated 13 total tackles and even was able to get through the line and put a sack on quarterback Eli Stowers. Senior Herman Lee is the same kind of player. He's the one applying pressure to the quarterback and forcing them to abandon the original play call. So far this season, Lee has 41 tackles, with 29 of those being solo and 4 sacks. I think it will be interesting to see who emerges as the main defensive contributor tonight. Tonight, the offensive line is going to need to make sure that they can protect Jackson Berry in the pocket and alleviate some of the pressure that Braswell's Lazarick Bailey is going to apply. On the season, Bailey has 4 sacks, which rivals some of our greatest defensive assets. 3 of those came from their game against Little Elm, and he even got hands on Eli Stowers last week as well, who we know is a skilled quarterback. However, this is not the only issue that Prosper's offensive line could face tonight. Free safety Chance Brown is a player that could potentially become an issue for Cameron Harpool and Tyler Bailey. We talked about free safeties before the Prestonwood game, and Brown is going to be hungry for the same kind of hits that Ryan Rucker was. Brown plays a game of aggressive coverage, which is not what Prosper wants to see tonight. While there will be some challenges tonight, I really believe that tonight will be Prosper's peak offensive performance. If Devaney, Barry, and Bailey can each perform tonight, this should be a high-scoring game, which is the kind of practice the Eagles need before they travel to Allen next week. Before we go ahead and close out the show, it's time to discuss who tonight's Game Time game changer will be. With his last two performances being off the charts, I'm rolling with Jacob Devaney tonight. The running back might be a new asset to the team, but he plays with experience and skill that can't be taught. I'm expecting another night of impressive running that should ensure victory in tonight's game. Well, that's going to do it for the show tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for your halftime and post-game report. For Game Time, I'm Maggie Hale.